Hey friends, Cinema Recapped here. Today I will explain to you a 2020 English language Norwegian fantasy and thriller movie called Mortal. The movie starts with Erik Bergland, an American Norwegian, who has no motive in his life and is wandering around the tree of Norway with his injured leg. After a long trip, he decides to build a tent in the middle of the forest and rest there for a night. That darkness, while sleeping, Erik unexpectedly becomes emotionally unstable and somehow the trees outside the tent begin burning. In the sunrise, every tree around him has been burnt down, but Erik and his tent remain unharmed. Nonetheless, the burn wound on his leg is getting worse and he decides to head over to the town nearby. Upon arrival, he goes into a clinic and steals numerous things to heal his wound. While treating his wound, he understands that he looks awful. Thus he trims his hair and transforms into a much better-looking guy. On his way to nowhere, 3 troublemaker teens with their dad's Mercedes spot him and endeavor to talk to him. But Erik ignores them. One of them, Hole, isn't happy with him and onsets harassing the homeless man. Erik warns Ole not to touch him again or he will be burned, but the cocky teen ignores the warning and grabs his jacket. Ole unexpectedly collapses and dies instantly, without having Erik to touch him. Erik runs off and is thereafter arrested by the local police for murder. The following day, while he awaits extradition back to the United States, the local police chief, Henrik, brings in a psychologist named Christine, hoping that she can make Erik talk. Henrik tells her that the man is also a suspect in an unsolved fire incident at a farm that assassinated 5 people 3 years ago. At initial, Erik, who is sitting at the corner of the interrogation room, refuses to talk to her. Somehow Christine manages to convince him to sit at the table, where she calms him down, saying him that it was not his fault and bad things happen. To gain Erik's trust, she suggests Henrik, who is watching from the other room, to have his handcuffs removed. A few eternities later, Ole's parents arrive at the police station and his dad, Bjorn, insists to see the murderer, but Henrik rejects the request. After that, Erik eventually admits that he killed the people at the farm, who turn out to be his relatives. As they speak, he demonstrates his superpower, pulling the water up from a glass. Christine is confused and asks for an justification, but Erik also doesn't understand how that happens. Furthermore, he manages to burn the table just by using his hand. Erik unexpectedly gets emotional again and starts burning the whole interrogation room. Christine concludes that his emotions control his power. Thus she approaches Erik and quickly counsels him on how to focus to control his power. He ultimately manages to control his emotions and stop the chaos. Not long after, the U.S. Embassy's officer, Hathaway, arrives to bring Erik back to America. He refuses to talk to anyone other than Christine. She warns them not to take Erik with the helicopter because it is too hazardous. They insist, and because of that, Erik is sedated to keep him unconscious during the flight. Erik unexpectedly awakens in the middle of the flight and starts to panic from being tied up. The doctor cannot give him another dose because he will overdose. Erik somehow creates a thunderstorm which causes the helicopter to lose power and crash into the sea. He then understands that he can breathe in the water and uses his power to burn the seat belt. He manages to save Hathaway and instantly runs away after she awakens. The search and rescue team begins the search operation in the wreckage and is able to identify 3 dead bodies. On the other side, Christine sees the news about the helicopter crash and instantly rushes to the scene. Erik suddenly shows up in front of the psychologist's house and she decides to bring him to her friend's cabin in the middle of the forest. He reveals that he receives the power at the farm and explains that the fire incident at the farm was caused by him, bursting into flames. At the sanitarium, Hathaway shows Henrik a proof that reveals Erik's ability to control the weather that caused the helicopter crash. Because of that, she tells the police that they need to find him as soon as possible. The following day, Christine receives a call from her friend, telling her that she is hiding a criminal and suggesting her to turn Erik into the police. After Eric wakes up, she explains the recommendation to Eric and apologizes. Before they depart, Christine unexpectedly hugs the superhuman and realizes that she has feelings towards him. She changes her mind and decides that she must take Eric back to the farm to understand the origin of the power. Her companion and Henrik keep calling Christine, so she decides to throw her phone away to the water. In the gas station, Christine learns that the police are looking for Eric because he has become the suspect and is responsible for the chopper crash. While on their way, Eric explains that he sometimes feels as if he is in a different world where he sees a tremendous tree that fills the entire horizon. A few eternities later, Christine attempts to overtake a big truck in front of her. Because of that, their car almost collides with a car that is running in the opposite direction. This makes Eric panic and unexpectedly emits a thunderbolt that destroys their car, but somehow it doesn't harm Christine at all. After crashing, the truck driver decides to give them a ride. Subsequently, the police arrive at the crash scene, where Hathaway states that Eric isn't authorized to reach and get through a bridge that will lead him to the other city. They eventually reach the bridge that the U.S. agent mentioned earlier. Nonetheless, the police have set up a roadblock. The driver eventually realizes that Eric is the man the police have been looking for and instantly stops the truck. They then have no option other than to surrender. Eric gets out of the truck and turns himself in while the police officers keep pointing their gun at him. Christine approaches them and asks them to lower their weapons, but they capture her instead. Eric begs them to discharge his lover, but they ignore him, causing Eric to rage and lose control. The dark clouds suddenly cover the sky and a thunderstorm occurs. Thunderbolt starts to strike while Eric is screaming in agony. As usual, Christine approaches him and tells him to control his feelings. The police officers keep walking towards them, and then Eric uses his power to create a lightning fence until he collapses and the storm subsides. Henrik comes to help and instantly rushes both of them to the hospital. Eric and the bridge incident has become viral, and the local people start to believe that he is a god. Some of them even claim that he is Thor. Upon appearance, the wounds on his body are getting worse, and he is directly brought to the MRI scanner. Christine tries to keep him calm through headphones. Nonetheless, when the scanning process begins, Eric accidentally destroys the machine with his power and causes a power outage at the hospital. To make things worse, a nurse appears, saying that a boy has gone into cardiac arrest and needs a direct treatment. Eric instantly rushes towards the ICU and Bjorn, Ole's dad, unexpectedly shows up and shoots him. Luckily, Henrik organizes to calm him down, and he eventually lets Eric proceed to the ICU. Using his power, Eric revives the boy, and he wakes up from his coma, making his parents cry tears of joy. Since then, Eric has become popular, and a lot of people beg him to hold their hand. They then proceed their journey to the farm. On their way, Henrik hands over a Norse mythology book to Christine. He clarifies that after Thor and other gods died in Ragnarok, Thor's children built a farm, and they believe it is the same farm where Eric gained his power. Upon arrival, Henrik and the psychologist explore the place while Eric is ordered to wait at the entrance. He follows them, and they then come across a ruin where Eric is brought to his knees and unable to move. Henrik thinks that something is hidden down there and instantly orders his men to dig the place. On the other side, Hathaway and the U.S. Army arrive and privately monitor what they are doing, waiting for the right time to kill Eric. The team ultimately finds a cave under the farm where a lot of ancient Norse runestones. They even discover a depiction of Yggdrasil, the trees Eric chatted about earlier to Christine. After the team examines the place, Eric is told it is time for him to go into the cave where he comes across a chest. With one of the team members' help, he opens the chest and discovers Thor's glove, his belt, and his hammer, Mjolnir. Eric then grabs them and wears all the Thor's equipment, and unexpectedly a thunderbolt strikes from the sky. But this time, it doesn't harm his body as the hammer absorbs all the energy. He comes out from the cave and Christine instantly approaches him. Meanwhile, Hathaway orders her sniper to assassinate Eric, but the bullet misses and hits Christine instead, killing her immediately. Eric desperately tries to revive her, but he fails. Eric becomes enraged and uses the hammer to create a massive thunderstorm, ruthlessly attacking people nearby the farm. At the climax of the film, a reporter states that the thunderstorm at the farm has caused a large digit of fatalities and Eric mysteriously vanished. And the end. If you are a lover of similar content like this, take a look at my various videos, and if you love it, please burst the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel and smash the notification horn. Take sight of you in the next video.